Hi there, this is CocoKali, your spiritual royalty coach, and today I want to talk about the difficulty of connecting with Tarpanam as a spiritual practice. It can be very challenging. So because we're taught by Dr. Pillai not to connect with a specific family member when we're doing Tarpanam, it could seem very general, very bland, very blasé for a lot of us when we're doing Tarpanam. And some people, I've heard stories of them saying it took years before they actually felt an energetic personal connection with Tarpanam. So I'm going to share with you 2 tips that I have employed myself that really helped me connect with the ritual of doing Tarpanam. Actually, now that I think about it, I have 3 practices that I can share with you that helped. So the first one was a Pradasham time came, which is a 13th moon, powerful karma clearing time. So any karma clearing rituals that you do on the 13th moon are grow merit exponentially. So the value of what you do is doubled, tripled, quadrupled, times 10, times 100,000. Like, you do the spiritual math, and that's what it is. So at this time, it was also a very special, I wish I could remember the name. I have trouble with proper nouns sometimes, but it was like a once in 50 years that this particular 13th moon was happening on this birth star day, on this day of the week, on this, it was like a whammy of like 7 times the goodness. So it was suggested that we do 108 Tarpanam rituals. 108. And that is like, wow. So you don't have to do them all in one sitting, but throughout the day, to do 108 Tarpanam rituals. So I made these little rice balls. A pro tip that someone had given me was to make these little rice balls so I could, and do 108 balls. So then throughout the day, I could just take a ball and do a Tarpanam, take a ball and do a Tarpanam, take a ball and do a Tarpanam. And so in a way, it's kind of like a grind, right? Because it's like, I'm just saying the same prayer over and over again. And like, what does it mean? And I'm not able to fixate on any specific ancestors. And how do I get through this? But what happened as I was doing it is that the energetic shift in me took place. And so suddenly I felt the power of just saying these words, just doing these acts is releasing something in me. It's shifting something in me. And because it's doing it every day is like watching the grass grow. But doing 108 in one day is like cutting the grass, right? It's like coming in with the mower and being like, it's like bringing hot water over and pouring it over something, not watching it boil. So it had that kind of impact on me. So I would suggest to you on a power day to take this on, to do pick a number, whatever the goal is. It doesn't have to be 108, but maybe you decide to do 21 Tarpanam offerings or 27. Maybe you'll do the mala, a quarter mala, a half mala, if not a full mala, 108. And just do back-to-back Tarpanams and see what that unlocks for you. That worked for me. The second thing that worked for me was, I looked at what are the promises of Tarpanam and what do I need? And someone had texted me and asked me, what can I do to heal the relationship with my father? Like, that's coming up for me right now. And I was like, well, one of the things you can do is Tarpanam, because you're healing the energies for the whole lineage when you're doing Tarpanam. And so it got me reflecting and looking at how had things shifted for me in my relationship with my father, which one can say was estranged growing up because I did not grow up with him. I was raised in a single mom household and had a traumatic experience with my father when I was 4 years old. So I was afraid of him my entire life and did not reconnect with him until I was 35 years old. So for many years, we struggled to have a decent quality of our relationship. And on my spiritual path, I've done many things, but I never did anything to work with the ancestors until I became a student of Babaji's, of Dr. Pillai's. Once I started doing Tarpanam practice, I started to notice, not immediately, it probably took 4 months, maybe 6 months before I started to see a shift, that in my father's care for me and his concern for me and his generosity for me, he is a miserly person. Really does not like to share. And in his life, everything is all about him. And it was very difficult for him to see things from any other perspective. And I say this without judgment, because we are who we are. We're all a product of our karma. So fortunately enough, I had been on the spiritual path long enough to recognize that. And once I got past and found my release of any residual anger, hurt, betrayal, all of those emotions that a young child would experience after what we went through together, then I was able to reach that place of forgiveness. And in forgiveness, just acceptance for him of who he was. But that didn't change who he was. Once I started doing Tarpanam without directly confronting him about any issues, he became more generous. He became more thoughtful. He became more peaceful minded towards me, if that is a thing. And things have continued to shift. So between my own efforts to do Tarpanam, which I will admit to you, I'm not always doing Tarpanam every day. But I also did sign up for proxy Tarpanam, which is the third thing I would recommend for you if you're having trouble connecting with the ritual of Tarpanam, is to get signed up in a proxy Tarpanam practice, so that the priests are going to power spots and doing Tarpanam for you. Then that's something that you could do. This made such a huge difference for me. So doing Tarpanam in volume on a single day helped me to connect more deeply with the practice. Recognizing what relationship, this world relationship, I would want to be healed, or this world result I would want to have from doing Tarpanam. Maybe for you, it's healing your relationship with money and the finances. Maybe it is healing the relationship with career and being a provider for your family. Maybe it's something else. Maybe like me, you have something with your father or your mother. So only you can look at your life and decide what that is, but put something in the game for it. Like, I'm doing Tarpanam to heal this. So I don't know how it will come about. This is in God's hands. Like, I raise it up to spirit, and I make these offerings hoping for a shift in this area of my life. And then see what happens, because beautiful things can happen. So those are my tips for you for how you can deepen your connection with Tarpanam. And I hope that you try them out and that they have a significant benefit for you. In the meantime, we hope that you enjoy these videos where we share spiritual technologies for you that lead to real world results by the grace and benefit of the teachings of Dr. Bhaskaran Pillai. If you like them, please go ahead and like this video, subscribe to our channel, and check out our links in the description so you can see what else we all are up to. And I will see you in the next video, my friend. Namaste.